welcome to Hot Issues. Today, we are going to take a look at policing generally. What does it take to be on the beat as a policeman? What are the difficulties that the police encounter in protecting all of us? We are going to pay some very special attention to the Ashanti region. Ashanti region is going to be our focus today. Welcome to Hot Issues. Hello and welcome back to Hot Issues. As I indicated from the beginning, we are taking a look at the Ghana Police Service. And we are taking a look at the Ghana Police Service through the eyes of its regional commander in Ashanti, Deputy Commissioner of Police Kofi Boakye, Regional Police Commander for Ashanti, who has earned the nickname Commander One. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you. Kasi, you are welcome to the Ashanti region.
Thank you, sir.
I'm very privileged to have you here.
Thank you, sir. So let's start from the very beginning. How did you become a policeman?
I finished biochemistry in Tech, and coincidentally, I think the Vice Chancellor was my mate. When we finished, we were supposed to be TAs. He went for the TA, and I decided to go back to Accra. Go to Accra to work at the epidemiology department as a research assistant. But prior to that, I was a cadet officer on campus, and sometime around the third year, the regional commander Ashanti, who was Mr. Atafrimpong, who coincidentally was also a biochemist, came to give us a lecture on policing. And I developed interest in policing, and also I decided that to be able to help the society more, to work in close contact with people, then we need to work with the police service. But prior to that, I had read a lot of books like James Hadley Chase, Agatha Christie, and especially James Hadley Chase. A book like Vulture is a Patient Bird, and all those books helped me to develop investigative acumen from the infancy. So it came naturally that after university, either I could have been a military officer or a police officer. And that also brings to fore that I wanted to be a uniform man.
But you are so very highly educated. You are also a lawyer and so on. Why wouldn't you practice your law? Why wouldn't you be involved in just biochemistry and so on?
You know, I joined the police with biochemistry. And that time I had the impression that when you are a biochemist, it will help you to investigate a lot of crimes in terms of forensics. But when I joined police, I was first posted to the police forensic lab. But at that time, the lab was nothing to write home about. So I've been forced to go back to police hospital, to the lab, to really do lab work. And I spent about 6 months there. I realized that I have to go back to the lab. So when I was at the lab, I realized that the lab was not what I wanted. So 4 years after I joined the police, there was a chance. The anti-armed robbery commander left on peacekeeping, and I was asked by Mr. Adams, who was then the operation commander, to come and help. I worked for 1 year there, and I can say it was the beginning. It was quite fantastic in Accra. We arrested a lot of people. But around that time, you know, some people also developed a little bit of, I don't know whether to say, they were very uncomfortable with what I was doing at the headquarters. So one day the commissioner called me and said, "My brother, you are a biochemist, so you have to go back to the lab." Then after 6 months going back to the lab, there was a chance to do a special investigation unit. I came back, and I think there was a clash. I arrested some people who were not to be arrested. They called me again and said, "My brother, you are a scientist. You have to go back to the lab." So I said, "Hey, if this was going to be the problem, then I have to think about my future." So I applied to do Masters in Public Administration. I didn't do Masters in Business Administration, Masters in Finance, Masters in Accounting, because I didn't want to be tagged as an accountant or human resource. So I said, no, let me go and do public administration. So I left to Legon to do public administration in 97 after having spent almost 7 years at the lab. Then I finished 99. Then I went to Mr. Peter Nafuri and said, please sir, I can offer something. Give me striking force. And if by 3 months I'm not able to do anything, send me back to the lab. And I think the rest is history.
Was the police service, or is the police service, what you expected to find when you got in?
Oh yes. Sometimes what you read in books is not what is in the reality. Especially, and those days it was quite easy because we didn't have factions in terms of political parties. So it was the revolution time. We all look at the head of state, Rawlings, and we were working towards him, to him, and also for the country. So it was quite easy because you are working for one government, and there's nothing like you are this, you are that, you are this. So in that sense, I was given the chance to work. And working for Peter Nafuri too was something different because he gave me all the chance to work as striking force commander. And it got to a time, although the striking force was supposed to be Accra striking force, we were able to elevate it to national prominence to the extent that anytime the head of state was traveling, whether whatever, we have to take the lead. And we used to work closely with the 64 to Laik Bovlo, who also sharpened our capability and capacity. One, by sending us to Suchare to do a lot of the training that the soldiers do, like rappelling, jumping from helicopter and shooting, and a whole lot of things. And from then, I developed the maximum interest in crime fighting, especially on armed violence and other issues.
You just mentioned Lieutenant Colonel Bevlo Latte retired. He appears to have the image of a very controversial person. What are your reflections about
He's a marvelous guy. I think he's always been misunderstood. He's always been misunderstood. And also, I think because of the tagging of 64, and he being the head, also had an impact on his image. Because you realize that 64 was something that was seen not to be part of the mainstream military, so that both military and the civilians were not really in consonance with that unit, and that alone gave him that image. But you know that one-on-one, he's a marvelous guy, and he's a very competent military officer, and also he's a very good mentor and trainer. That one I can say for him.
Now, sir, here you are. You cut your teeth in the revolutionary days in the police service. It's the multi-party dispensation and its impact on policing. What is this impact?
It's surprising that the politicians, they can mingle with everybody, but security men are forbidden to do that. Let me give you an example. During the revolution days, that's prior to and even multi-party, let's take the multi-party time, before the advent of the MPP, Okanja Adamofield was the interior minister, who was a very good friend. Because I work as striking force, and we worked together. Immediately MPP came to power, I have to cease talking to him completely. MPP came to power, and some of us were nearly sacked out because there was that presumption that once I've traveled with the head of state before, because I traveled with Rawlings to Libya, once I was the lead policeman, whenever Rawlings is coming, I'm automatically NDC.
But you were just doing your job.
So eventually, it has to take somebody like Francis Poku to say that no, we need to work with this guy. And that also resulted in my close association with him for a long time, because he was just like somebody who understood what the security is and was prepared to let some of us work. And that time I was posted from Accra region, because that I was striking force commander. Immediately the government changed, I was posted to Nungua police station. But prior to that, we used to be in charge stadium. So I was posted from Accra region to Nungua 9th April and 9th May. There was stadium disaster. Because most of the people who went there were not experienced in handling route, especially at the stadium. Then after 9th May, they said, no, come to Accra Central as divisional commander so that you can be able to control stadium. And that's why I came to Accra Central.
But at that time, we had so many casualties already.
Yes. So after Accra Central, then there is no robbery also started. And some even attributed the robbery to opposition then. And we have to tell them that if the robbery is attributed to opposition, then it's more or less an insurgency. So everybody saying that, oh, robbery is sponsored by opposition should be very, very, very careful. Because then it ceases to be robbery, but insurgency. Then, remember Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah.
We started arresting people in Sodom and Gomorrah, doing a lot of things. Then they said that, no, you have to be operation commander. We say, no, you cannot create a position for us purposely for robbery. So eventually, I was posted back to Accra region as a deputy regional commander. Then there was change in IGP from Peter Nafuri, that time to Osunsia, from Osupoku to Osunsia, Mr. Osunsia. Then Osunsia came and said, no, you have to be the regional commander. And I became a regional commander at the rank of chief superintendent. And you recall, that time too, there was a holy balu about it, that I should be posted to Bolga, and that also resulted in a lot of problems.
Now, sir, there have been some problems with some of your men, I mean policemen. A few policemen caught in robberies, selling weapons to, you know, thieves and so on. The general speculation that this has got something to do with recruitment. Is that true?
I think it's true. It's true. Because of, you see, I would say some sort of politically motivated recruitment. And this one, I will not say is this party or that party, but let's put it politically motivated. They
all
cut
of
across
them.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, if you say that you are MP and you can recruit 300 policemen, or another MP can also recruit 200, and it's something that I think in the long run it will have a devastating effect on our security if we don't allow the recruitment to be based on meritocracy, but based on nepotism, patronage, favoritism, party political activity. Then, and one thing I always tell people is that whenever you are in government or you are in opposition, and the policeman comes to you and say that, oh, we are opposition police, we are waiting for you to come to government, then that opposition party should be very careful about those people, because it means that they are not loyal to the state, they are not loyal to the government, and they are incompetent.
Now, sir, it's also said that the incidence of armed robbery has gone down considerably from the mid-1990s to now. Is that true?
Well, you have to compare that also to the number of policemen, and also to the sophisticated nature of the robbery. So statistics alone cannot determine whether it has gone down or not. Because if you look at the type of robberies, the type of sophistication, because in 1990s and those days, you don't get daylight robberies, you don't get highway robberies, unless it's. But Kumasi Accra Road, you get robbery on Kumasi Accra Road. And I don't think it used to be like that. Even those days when the roads are not good, were not good. So, as to looking at statistics and saying it has come down or not, I cannot say. But all that I know is that robbery is present and clear danger to the nation.
Recently, about 12 men were arrested for carrying out a robbery. They were supposed to be coming from Odan area. They had vehicles and so on.
Yes.
More like a militia.
That is it.
Isn't this really worrying?
It was scary when I heard it, and I must commend the Accra police, Yowunu and his men, for doing a yeoman's job in that direction. Because when I listened to the story I became scared. I said, how can people take 3 cars? One, the rendezvous car, one that they will pack the things in, and one with the Ford, which is a very fast car.
Yeah.
It means that it's a well thought out plan. You know, in the 2000 to around 2006, there used to be robbery gangs who, if we were not able to clamp down, will have developed what is called nucleus. In Nigeria, we have people with master's degree committing robbery. But now people decided that instead of going on robbery to be lynched, why don't I open office? People come and contact me to kill somebody and collect money. That's when we say that robbery, armed robbery, has gone nucleus.
You're talking about contract killing.
That is the point. But it's more beneficial to do that than to go on robbery and go fishing for. And those days too, you know, people used to, when we arrested Atayi and we asked him, he said he has never entered anybody's house to rob because it's risky. But the other you need to do is go to the bank, look at people, and they used to have people in the bank helping them. Then, you know, surely there's money. And they will trail you around traffic light. They just stop you, shoot, and take the money. And realize that if we are not being able to clamp down on this group, they'll go nucleus. And one example is that during those days, one man, I won't mention the name, a very prominent man in Ghana here, his own son contacted Atayi, Chobeta, Kevin, Numwe, Malamabu to go on robbery, and they robbed. And we arrested them. Eventually came out that his own son, who was arrested together with them, engineered the whole robbery. So you can see the danger that robbery poses to all of us.
So what can we do, or what can you as police do in order to stem this tide? What is required? That's
exactly what we are doing. We need more intelligence because it's very difficult to catch armed robbers on the job. It happens sparingly. But if you have intelligence in relation to, and that's why we have to develop more agents, more agent provocateurs, and more insiders. But the problem with the insiders is also that if you don't take time, they also take advantage of the relationship, dupe the armed robbers, dupe the police, and eventually you'll be on the wrong side. Therefore, what we have to do is get dedicated policemen, people who feel angry and scandalized when there's robbery, people who feel that robbery is the worst. My priority is robbery because it's the worst form of crime that can be committed against anybody. For instance, recently we arrested Apreku, Yabozin, and other. We are looking for Yabozin and one guy. Could you believe Apreku has more or less syphilis? And when they go on robbery and they want to rape, Apreku is the one to rape last. Anytime Apreku rape first, all the armed robbers will not rape. Can you imagine that?
Because they are syphilis,
yes,
and they know.
And they know.
My goodness.
So, for robbery, and you see, robbery too is something that I've been to Accra, I've been to Western region, and I've been to Ashanti region. It's more prevalent in Ashanti region than any other region. Because the Ashanti region here, the armed robbers are homegrown. People know them. They have been born and bred here. And they have grown here to be armed robbers. And people also find it difficult to expose them because of sometimes our own commission and omission. Therefore, the fight against robbery and other violent crimes will succeed if the police are able to build a lot of confidence in the public. And to build the confidence in the public, we need to have goodwill. And the goodwill will come because of our competence and our non-discrimination, fairness. And when there's goodwill, there automatically there will be respect. When there's respect, there will be authority. You will get the authority. People will depend on you. And when there's authority, there's power.
What about equipment? Is the police sufficiently equipped properly equipped.
Nobody can be sufficiently equipped, even in the US. But the willingness to work is more important than the equipment. Because you can be given all the equipment. If you don't have the passion, if you take the police as job, but not a vocation, then you do nothing. So, equipment-wise, I think currently, I can say we have adequate, but not sufficient.
What about simple things like bulletproof vest and so on? Why should a policeman take a bullet when he can wear protective gear?
You see, even the bulletproof we have now, when you wear it, it will slow you down more than walking alone. We need modern bulletproof. And don't forget, even in America, people are shot recently in Florida, just recently, even in France, advanced country like that. So you ask, why were they not in bulletproof? Bulletproof is not the panacea, but adequate training. To know how to have tactical operations, where to stand. Look at some of our people, even when they are checking vehicles, and if they are sophisticated robbers here, they just kill all of them and go. So I think not equipment, but training. Because training is the cornerstone of readiness.
Training and dedication.
Yes. Training, dedication, determination will solve everything.
What about things like vehicles? We now see a lot of Navaras and so on the road. Is that adequate? That
too, you can have 3,000 vehicles here. If the people are not trained to use the vehicle well, they will be roaming about and the robbers will be robbing. So I believe that those days, when we joined the police, we didn't have anything. Striking force, we didn't have anything. But we were able to arrest. Is that right?
Yes.
We need the vehicles and to augment your own capability. But if you give the whole cars to people who are not trained, what can they do? If you give a weapon to a policeman who is not well trained, he will fire his own men eventually. Therefore, I believe that training, but training too is very costly. And because we don't have the finances, that is also a problem.
What about numbers? I hear the numbers are increasing.
Numbers are very, very important. Numbers are very, very important because policing is about visibility. And that's why we have to commend the Inspector General of Police for bringing out this visibility and accessibility program. Because now, there used to be robbery on the highway. We decided to put a lot of people on the highway. And those who took the road, we've built 2 police posts on the highway, Bonfa Junction and Proud Riverside. Since then, there hasn't been any robbery. Now we are putting tents. So we need more policemen in order to satisfy the UN ratio of at least 1 policeman to 500 policemen. For instance, Kumasi here, we are almost 5 million here, and the policemen are less than 5,000.
Wow.
So obviously, now what we do is to relocating policemen, solving problems, responding. But the most important thing, again, is the responsibility. Because everybody knows that crime will happen, even from Sodom and Gomorrah. But how do you respond to the crime as a policeman? Because the bottom line is building confidence in the public. Because the feeling of security is more important than even being secured.
Hello, welcome back to Hot Issues, and we are in the office of the Ashanti Regional Commander of the Ghana Police Service, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Kofi Boakye. And we are talking about policing in Ghana, and just before we went on the break, he spoke about the visibility of the police. Now, this concept, what does it really mean? What does it really mean, the visibility project?
You know, this concept is being practiced in most developed countries. I quite remember some time back I went to America, New York, and I was there and a policeman came to park the car, looked around and left. 3 hours time, the car was still there. And I asked, they said that's what they do because they sell drugs here. Just the car alone there, nobody is coming to buy the drugs, nobody is selling. And eventually, it ended. Now, the visibility is for people to see the police, both the criminals and the innocent people, to see the police and know that if something happens here now, I can go and talk to the police. Also, it makes the people feel confident, because eventually when you are going on the highway, you see police here, you will feel confident. And the criminals also, it deters them. But at this level, I think it's a time that we have to go further. And that's why we have started building police posts along the road. The
container police posts,
yes,
and the tent
police
posts, yeah.
In fact, I met the KMA assemblyman, and I said, even if you can put lotto kiosks and paint it police, I'll come and put one policeman in with walkie-talkie. Because of the spatial nature of the environment and also the fast developing nature, getting police is becoming difficult. So if every community has some sort of police presence, then when something happens, the police can be informed readily so that we can get there. Because with democracy, it goes with rule of law. Rule of law goes with maintenance of law and order. Therefore, you need to be present in the society, in the environment, in the community, so that people can talk to you. And also, if you're able to do that, then it gives a point of information. Therefore, if there is somebody new in the vicinity, or you are looking for somebody, you can just go to that policeman and contact him. Therefore, even in Ashanti region now, our objective vision for this year is to get police station for every suburb. Therefore, Adum will have police station, Ridge will have police station, Daban will have police station, Ashton will have police station, Ditchams will have police station, Brahabepum will have police station, Nyanyas will have police station. And if we have police station, even with 2 men each, then you realize that crime will reduce considerably. Look at towns without police station and how people are rude and therefore, but I agree. People say that the people are there. Eventually, the visibility areas should have walkie-talkie, should have personal computers to check people and queue in and know whether you are really what you say you are. Have a weapon, if not AK, side pistol, then we know we are getting there.
So you are aware that now everybody calls you Commander 1. You are aware?
I am aware, and that's very scary.
What makes it so scary?
It's so scary that because now you say Commander 1. What happened before you became Commander 1? You were able to do something. How do you sustain it? And especially in my own Kumasi, I come from here. You can be Commander 1 today, tomorrow you can be Commander 0. And that's what makes me scared. That will I be able to sustain this Commander 1 accolade? And if not,
you become very, very popular, not just in Kumasi, throughout the country.
Because you know as much as I know that the nail that sticketh out get hammered. So being popular is not very good. It's not very, very good. You sometimes incur the displeasure of people for nothing. Because look at Michael Jackson. People are here, they don't know Michael Jackson, but they hated him. And I don't go out of my way. I believe that always competence is coterminous with becoming famous or something. But the Commander 1 accolade, I must be honest with you,
it's scary.
It's
very,
scary.
Very scary.
Very, very scary.
Now, we're going to do some exercise at this stage. I mean, you were with the striking force, you've been to Takoradi, you've come here, you've done many things. You understand? Is Kumasi different from example, for example, from Takoradi? Is Kumasi or Ashanti region different from your experience in the striking force?
It's different altogether. I've been a regional commander in Accra. Accra, when you're a regional commander and something happens, it doesn't affect you as much as here. Because in Accra, you have the IGP there, you have the CDS there, you have everybody there. So you cannot be blamed personally for crimes that happen there. Takoradi is a very beautiful place. I miss Takoradi because Takoradi town, if you go there in the night, it's like Europe. People are so reserved. Everybody is in his house, and even the main town center, you may not see anything. And a lot of people there are indigenous people. Hardly anybody traveling from anywhere to Takoradi is a decent man. Of course, you have small problem in Takwa, which is a mining town, Bogoso, Pristia, Asankregwa, Samanboy, Enche, and all those places, Bebiani. But here, Ashanti region, one, politics, political hotbed. You have to know how to balance between the two main political parties. Two, traditionalism. Three, the cosmopolitan nature of the area, and it's in the center of Ghana. Look, Takoradi, Western region. When somebody commits an offense, I need to block only 3 roads, and the person has to either walk or go into the sea. I need to block Apramdo, block Bebiani, and the rest, and block Elubo. I will definitely arrest you. But here, where are you going to block? You can't block anywhere. Quite apart from that, there are a lot of armed robbers and criminals in Ashanti region than any other region I've worked in. Yes, even in Accra. But don't forget, in police jurisdiction, Accra is just a small area. It's up to Nungwa, up to Kaswa, up to Amasamai. That's all Accra is about.
What about Ashanti?
Ashanti region, up to Bechem, Mankrasu area, Bechem, up to Nkoko.
Nkoko? Yes. All the way to Nkoko.
Konongo, Asankare. So Nkoko, from then you go to Nkoko. Up to this the Chima Road. Up to Office Road, Abuakwa, no, Abofo, Kinkesu, up to Ejura, Amantin, to Atebubu.
Wow.
You get my point? So Mampo to Atebubu. So, and all these places, they have other access roads where you may not even pass Kumasi. Because you can pass from Mampo to Ejoso and go to Accra. Quite apart from that, you know, Kumasi is a political hotbed. Today you are NDC, tomorrow you are MPP. The tagging is here. Western region, nobody even told me I'm this, I'm that. But here, today you are MPP because maybe you didn't favor somebody who is coming for NDC. Tomorrow you are NDC because you are doing your work for the government.
They said that you've been doing your work without fear or favor, and there have been a few cases which have been mentioned. Were you personally involved in the arrest of somebody like Maxwell Kofi Juma?
I ordered for his arrest.
You didn't care?
No. Because you see, before any policeman, and this goes to all of us, before you can have the power, you don't have to be afraid to lose power. Yes. Most people get a position, they think this good position I have to be. No, I wouldn't mind going today. If transfer come now, I will not come to office tomorrow. I've finished what I have to do. But my job is to maintain law and order. My job is to curtail impunity. My job is to be the advocate of the oppressed and the vulnerable. And my job is to be fair to everyone. So if you commit offense, no matter who you are, you have to go through the process. If I send you to court and they leave you, fine. It's not my problem. But as a policeman, this uniform will be worthless if I discriminate in applying the law.
Isn't that one of the reasons why you have become so popular?
I don't do that to become popular, but if by so I become popular, it's okay. Because You have your work as a journalist. Let's allow you to do your work based on your conscience. I'm a policeman. Because if you're a policeman and you cannot arrest, you are not worth the uniform. If you're a policeman and people can say that you are this, people can tag you, let them do it, but prove that it's wrong. And in Ashanti region, anybody who will come here and decide to play ball, anybody who will come here and decide that I'm going to be unfair, you lose the plot. You cannot control anybody. Because if a government is in power, you work for the government, you don't work for the party. That is the differences people should know. Distinction. You work for government, you don't work for party. And I'm always trying to differentiate between the government and the party.
We've spoken a lot about armed robbery. Beyond armed robbery, what are the other crimes, that you have to deal with, especially in Ashanti where you are?
Hitherto there used to be a lot of impunity. People acting capriciously, thinking that, you're in our town, beating people, assault and other things, but that has stopped. You remember Ashanti region, people used to be gangsters. I'm the king, Imromu Giant, Finko Davis, Bantiba Samson. That one has stopped. And I think that brought the commander one because
gangs.
I met people and said there cannot be two. I'm the only commander in Ashanti region. Police. I'm the only person who have the I can legitimately use force. Nobody apart from the police. And I think that is gone. Apart from fraud and other offenses. But the preoccupation, my priority is robbery. And robbery, I must tell you, is clear and present danger. Every day we arrest armed robbers, every day robbery happens.
There was somebody or some group of persons that everybody was wondering why they were not being arrested. This U.S. group of companies engaged in tilapia, you arrested them. How did you do it?
That one, I think it was a court order, and we didn't arrest them personally. People talk about it, and of course, they give the credit to us. But honestly, it was something that was a court order, and fortunately, they arrested them in Accra and brought them here.
Oh, but there were court orders and they were not being arrested.
But maybe they didn't see them.
But you saw them. But that makes the difference, doesn't it?
But see, I always say that if you cannot arrest, you are not worth the uniform. At a point in time that I feel like I've been compromised, either politically or otherwise, I have to resign.
Now, sir, this one is very controversial but very important. CDD, Afrobarometer report, all of that. They are always citing the police as being amongst the most corrupt. How come? Is it true?
The point is that what is corruption? We have to posit the corruption in the right context. Is it the giving of money?
Or the taking of money?
Or taking of money. That is an infinitesimal aspect of corruption. What about nepotism? What about favoritism? What about patronage? What about clanism? For instance, now, I've seen your people. A policeman arrests TV3 car. They call me. Oh, Commander, we've been arrested though. Why? Oh, we don't have insurance, we don't have road royalty. I said, let me talk to the boy. Oh, Cobra. Oh, they are my people, leave them. Is that not corruption? People going from maybe CDD, you know somebody, you want your son to be recruited. You go and see somebody because you are a professor. They say, oh, bro, bring him. He's recruited. Without going through the merits, without going through sun in the sun, he's recruited. And so many other things. So what kind of methodology? What was their point of reference? And that's my problem. And between me and you, if now we go and interview people at the harbor alone, they will have who is more corrupt there.
Exactly.
When we go and interview teachers or people who want to be admitted, JSS, you know who is more corrupt. But you know, police, among all the works, police, we are the interface between the law and the public. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And they see us more. Policemen are always on the road. And even the police corruption they're talking about is only on the roads. The MTU, which we have accepted that is bad. Mm-hmm. But who gives them the money? Quite apart from that, traditionally, culturally, our system endorses corruption. Look at all our proverbs. On searching your da hona tafre, any boy kutrim, o searching your da, o searching your da this on sayem, dia batabu ani twekana, a senator Katremapoko, no one says on them, ubi padia kokotokwa enyana bro. Are these not corrupt proverbs? Therefore, we have to look at our own culture. So saying that police is corrupt is so easy, because these are the people you see outside. Who else do you see outside? And let's also look at the quantum. One man's corruption can dupe the country for about $10 million.
Can kill thousands of people.
Yes. And police corruption, one city. So is it the quantum or the numbers? And is it because we are always on the... So I have a problem with the CDD, Afrobarometer, because the sample size, the context in which corruption is defined should also be made to us. So that we look at nepotism, patronage, and all those things, join them together, combine them with the money collection, and let's see who is corrupt.
Now, sir, you've been with the ranks for a long time. Welfare. Are you satisfied with the state of welfare for policemen? I mean, I tell you, I go to the Nima divisional headquarters and I see the accommodation facilities for policemen.
I think it's not the best. Welfare for the police is not the best. But I think because we inherited some colonial relics and we have not been able to disengage, like giving policemen accommodation. Mm-hmm. How long can we continue to give accommodation? I went to France, and what they do is that, and that's what we are trying to do here, to build a hostel so that policemen can hide their own rooms, maybe in Tamale. But every month, they bring you to Kumasi, work for 1 month, go back, rest for 2 weeks, send you to Takrady, work for 2 months, and it's like that. I saw that in Paris.
So that the barracks concept is still there.
Yeah, but
they are free to have their own houses.
Accommodation. But whenever there's the need for you to go and work, they send you to barracks. So it's hard time we have to think about some of these things. Our salary is very good now because of the single spine. And if even all the allowances as enshrined in the LI 76 is going to be, CI 76 is going to be implemented, then we'll be a first class organization. But we have to also look at the economy of the country and work alongside one. But for welfare of policemen, at least much to be desired, and there's much to be done. But I think we are also conscious of the general economic situation, and we are working alongside that.
You worked with the IGP Susia. What do you have to say about his commitment to welfare?
Fantastic man. And I can only say that Peter Nafuri to also work on our welfare, because he's the first man to allow every policeman to collect 33 1/3% as risk allowance.
33 1/3
of your salary as risk allowance. Those days. But now with the single spine, it all has been consolidated. But every IGP has his own time and what he can do. So normally I don't compare. But once you mention name, Osunsia was a fantastic man. And I think his upbringing and his kinship also impacted positively on his position.
Hello, welcome back to Hot Issues, and we are talking to Commander One himself, the Regional Police Commander of Ashanti, DCOP Kofi Boakye. Now, Master, I said that we're going to talk about a very, very small thing. You travel outside the big cities and you see some police personnel, torn uniform, chalewate, and drunk. How come?
I think most often than not it's based on lack of supervision from our senior officers. Because I must tell you now, you can go through Ashanti region, go to any police station, you see that people have changed. Police stations have changed. Everybody is desirous of improving their own lot without even government money. And one thing is that people now in Ashanti region are also ready to donate to clean up the police stations because now they feel safe. And that's exactly, only yesterday I think the Boakye MP gave 50,000 to complete our divisional headquarters. Domiabra, the chief, has built one of the best police stations I've ever seen. Ahinkro, the chief, built a story building with Atonsu Mampong. They built Achuma Techiman, Kenyasi, and all these police stations. When I go and open the police station, do fundraising, people buy cars. Like Kenyasi, where we built the police station, we're doing fundraising. Somebody just came and said, "Wait, I'm coming." He went and brought a pickup, free of charge. Achuma Techiman, we did fundraising, we have bought it. Now we are reaching out to the public, like at Asamanso, we did fundraising. We got about 15,000. Just recently, say Sokoban, they did it. They got 45. I think 15,000. And one place 45,000. Ghana cities, people donating at Asamanso, donating for the police. So now crash barriers, everything. So if it happens like that, and the way the people see us, even the policemen, everybody is showing new uniform. Wherever they got it, I don't know. But if you look at my officers, look at their uniform. Everybody is showing. So I say, hey, everybody, because I always wear new uniform. So I think depending on the supervision, as an officer, when you see something like that, like tomorrow I'll go to Abofo. From Kumasi to Abofo, every police station will be alert. Although I'm not going to visit them, but they know I can pass by. So I think that behavior is based on lack of supervision on the part of some of our officers, and it's incumbent on all of us. It may not be their fault, the officers themselves, because some people are like that. But once it's a force work and it's a uniform work, all the uniforms should be uniform. And it depends on us, the officers, to set good example and also enforce it on the other units. So I can say without any doubt that you may see one or two, but in Ashanti region now, you go around, you don't have time. Like you see that people are clean. The policemen are disciplined because they know that the punishment will follow if you don't go by it.
What about physical fitness? You see a policeman and the belly is like a tank and he can't walk.
But these days I think the tank bellies are not as much as it used to. But the point is that personally, I walk 8 kilometers every day, except Fridays. I walk 8 kilometers. My officers, but you see, sometimes because of our work schedule, you may not even have time to train. Most of my officers do 12 to 6. And quite recently, because of the robberies and other things, I stopped every officer from even coming day, and all my officers were working the night. Before the Christmas, everybody was working the night. I said, stop day, I'll be around. But from 6 to 6, and after 6, you can't do anything. But we are trying to organize not periodic. This year, we've told them that every Saturday we do aerobics at the depot, but I want to add Wednesdays for games so that we can help ourselves to keep fit. But it's difficult to have the time.
Well, viewers, this has been another edition of Hot Issues, and we have been in conversation with DCOP Kofi Boakye, the Ashanti Regional Commander of the Ghana Police Service. Commander 1. Well, sir, thank you very much for granting us this interview.
Yes, sir.
And Before we leave, I just want to do my usual advice. Keep your dial on TV3. The best in everything comes from TV3.